So this is the first question. The moment of inertia of a uniform semicircular disk of mass m and radius r about a line perpendicular to the plane of disk through the center is. 4 options are given. You can pause the video and attempt this question. So the moment of inertia of a semicircular disk will be same as a circular disk of same mass. To understand that, let us take two elements of mass m by 2 which are diametrically opposite at distance L from the axis. The mass of the semicircular disk is m and the full mass is concentrated in the half of a circle. So here the surface density of a semicircular disk is twice that of circular disk. So if we take this element of same area or size, its mass will be m. So the moment of inertia due to this pair of elements about this axis is m by 2 L square into 2, that is ml square, and moment of inertia of this element is ml square. So the moment of inertia of this pair and this element are same. So from this we can cover this whole disk by taking pairs like this, and we can cover this semicircular disk by taking element like this. So the moment of inertia of these two will be same, and moment of inertia of a circular disk is a standard result, which is half mr square. So from this we get the moment of inertia of a semicircular disk about this axis perpendicular to the plane of the disk is half mr square. So the correct option is option 4. Let's move on to the next question. A spherical ball of mass 20 kg is stationary at top of a hill of height 100 meters. It rolls down a smooth surface to the ground, then climbs up another hill of height 30 meters and finally rolls down to a horizontal base at a height of 20 meters above the ground. The velocity attained by the ball is. You can pause and attempt this question. So when the ball comes down, there is loss of gravitational potential energy, and that will go in increasing the kinetic energy. So the loss in gravitational potential energy is mg into the loss of height. Initially its height of 100 meters and finally it reaches a height of 20 meters. So the loss of height is 100 minus 20. And the gain in kinetic energy is half mv square, where v is the translational motion velocity, plus half I omega square, where this is rotational kinetic energy. And this is a sphere, so the moment of inertia of a sphere about its axis of rotation is 2 by 5 mr square. So m will get cancelled throughout, and since it's pure rolling, omega and b are related by v equal to omega into r. So from this we get v square as this value. So simplifying we get as 40 to root square root of 5 by 7. So the correct option is option 1. Let's move to the next question. A coin is placed on a horizontal platform which undergoes vertical simple harmonic motion of angular frequency omega. The amplitude of oscillation is gradually increased. The coin will leave contact with the platform for the first time. 4 options are given. At the mean position of the platform, for an amplitude of g by omega square, for an amplitude of g by omega square, this one is g square by omega square, and fourth option is at the highest position of the platform. You can pause and attempt this question. Here is the solution. So the coin is on the platform. The force is acting on the coin or the weight mg, which does not change, and the normal direction of the platform, which will keep changing, and the acceleration of the platform. The acceleration of the platform is also changing. This is simple harmonic motion. So in simple harmonic motion, the acceleration is maximum at the farthest position from the mean position. At the mean position, the acceleration is 0. So writing the force equation, we get mg minus n equal to m into a. So from this we get normal reaction as m into g minus a. So g is constant. So acceleration, as it keeps on increasing, the normal reaction will decrease. So the acceleration is minimum at the extreme position. So the chance of normal reaction getting 0 is first at the extreme position. When the normal reaction becomes 0, the acceleration will become g. For simple harmonic motion, this relation is valid. This is a standard result which we can use here, k equal to m omega square. Acceleration is k by force by mass, so it's kx by m, which is omega square by x. K we can put as m omega square, so we get omega square x. And acceleration max is when x is maximum, because x will change from 0 to the amplitude of the simple harmonic motion. So acceleration max is omega square a, and that should be equal to z when the normal reaction is becoming 0. When the normal reaction becomes 0, the point will lose contact with the surface. So from this you get the amplitude as g by omega square. So the correct option is option 2. This is the next question. 4 point masses of each of mass m are placed at the corners of a square ABCD of side L. The moment of inertia of the system about an axis passing through the A, which is the vertex, and parallel to BD is. BD is the diagonal on the plane of the square. So you can pause and attempt this question. So moment of inertia of a square mass distribution. Actually here there are 4 point masses. So about the axis perpendicular to it is, you can sum the moment of inertia of the individual masses and let the distance of the corner of a square from the center be r. So moment of inertia of this square about the axis perpendicular to the plane of the square is 4 times mr square, and m is related to L by, this is a right angle triangle, so r will be L by root 2. So from this we get the moment of inertia in the plane perpendicular to the plane of square is 2m L square. And using perpendicular axis theorem, this is equal to moment of inertia about BD plus moment of inertia about AC. This is the perpendicular axis theorem, and moment of inertia about BD and AC are same by symmetry. So from this you get the moment of inertia about BD as ml square. And moment of inertia about an axis parallel to the diagonal BD in the plane of the square can be got by parallel axis theorem. That is equal to moment of inertia about the axis passing through the center of mass plus mass into distance square. The total mass is 4m and the distance is r, and using a IBD as ml square calculated before, we get moment of inertia of the parallel axis as 3 times ml square. Correct option is option 3. Let's move to the next question. Force minus F k cap acts on O, the origin of coordinate system. The torque about point 1, minus 1 is. You can pause and attempt this question. This is a straightforward question. We use the definition of the torque as R cross F. R is the position vector. So we have to find the torque about this point. So from the point about which we are going to measure the torque, from where we have to draw the position vector. So the original position vector is the point about which the torque is measured. The torque is measured about point P. So R will be away from point P, and the force is acting at this point O. So the R is from point P to point O. So this we can get by the determinant. R vector is final vector minus initial vector. So it will be 0, minus 1, minus 1, 0, minus 1, so plus 1, and then 0. And force is along k cap, so 0, 0, minus F. So simplifying we get as this one. So the correct option is option 2. This is the next question. A thin circular ring of mass m and radius r is rotating about its axis with constant angular velocity omega. Two objects of mass M are gently attached to the opposite ends of diameter of the ring. The ring now rotates with angular velocity omega prime. You can pause and attempt this question. So initially it's a disk of mass m, and after that 2 point masses are placed on the diameter at the extreme points, at diameter to opposite points. The moment of inertia of the disk is, it's a ring. It's a ring. So moment of inertia of a ring is mr square, and moment of inertia of the ring plus these 2 point masses mr square plus 2mr square. So since there is no external force acting on the system, the angular momentum is conserved. So initial angular momentum is I1 omega, final angular momentum is I2 omega prime. So using the values of I1 and I2, we get omega prime as m divided by m plus 2m into omega. Correct option is option 4. For a given uniform square lamina ABCD whose center is O, moment of inertia about axis about AC and EF we have to compare, and AD and EF, and then AC and EF, and AC and EF. So we have to compare the moment of inertia about different axes given the options. So we can analyze the options individually. So moment of inertia of a square lamina, first about the perpendicular axis equal to IAC plus IBD. This is by perpendicular axis theorem, and IAC and IBD are same by symmetry because it's a square. That's equal to 2 IAC, and it's also equal to IEF plus IE1 F1. Is equal to 2 EF. EF is like this and E1 F1 is like this. So from this we get IEC equal to IEF. So option 3 is correct. Option 1 relates AC and EF. AC and EF are same. So option 1 is wrong. And option 4, AC and EF again relates by a factor of 2. So option 4 is also wrong. And option 2, IED is IEF plus m into distance square. This is the parallel axis theorem. So that comes as IEF as 3 times IEF as 1 by 4 ml square. So option 2 is also not correct. So the correct option is option 3. This is the next question. A circular disk of radius r is removed from bigger circular disk of radius 2r so that the circumference of disk coincide. The center of mass of new disk is alpha r from the center of bigger disk. The value of alpha is. You can pause and attempt this question. So the disk is with a hole. The bigger disk radius is 2r, the smaller hole radius is r, and is being given that the circumference of these two circles touch. So since this is r, this distance is 2r, so other end of the circle will pass through the center of the bigger circle. So the full circular disk is equal to the circular disk with a hole plus the mass corresponding to the circular disk. So if the mass of this is m1, if the mass of this is m2, then the mass of this will be m1 plus m2. Similarly, the moment of inertia will add if you keep the positions of the disk and the hole corresponding to the original positions, because moment of inertia is mass plus the distribution. So the center of mass of this thing can be obtained from center of mass of these two bodies. We are taking the origin of x and y coordinates as center of the mass of this disk without the hole. So 0 will be equal to m1 into alpha r plus m2 into r divided by m1 plus m2. and mass is proportional to the area. Area of this thing with the hole is pi into 2r square minus pi r square, so that will be 3 pi r square, and area of the smaller disk is pi r square. So m1 is proportional to 3 times pi r square and m2 is proportional to pi r square. So m1 is 3 times m2. So using that thing we get 3 alpha plus 1. So from this alpha is minus 1/3. So the center of mass of this disk with the hole is on the negative x-axis at a distance alpha by 3. So the correct option 1.